Welcome to So You Think You Can Write, where we find out if your first page is ready to go. We have a panel of authors who will be looking at a first page of a manuscript through the eyes of an agent and editor to see if they are ready for submission. Our panel consists of
Booher,
Janette, Rallison,
Adrienne, Quintana.
Connor Blaylock.
All right, and so what we're going to have is Janette, I believe, is going to be our narrator today, and she's going to read the first page. If at any point the rest of the panel who will be acting as judges decide that this is where they would stop, if they were an agent or editor, stop reading, they'll buzz in. Okay, and then at the end of that, we will go ahead and give our critiques on the first page, the positive and the negative of what we thought about the submission.
Okay, this is called the Dream Rovers. And I might be getting this name wrong, so sorry. Tapio leapt from a mountaintop, searching for the Dream Lady. He landed with cat-like grace, then jumped again, soaring over valleys where animals lurked, a herd of deer, griffins, mountain sheep. He paused only long enough to see that the Dream Lady was not hiding among them before making the next jump. Again and again he leapt, until the mountains stopped and he could go no further. The world beyond the mountains was hidden in swirling blue mist, the dreamscape. That's what the Dream Lady had called it. He could wake up right now, but she was out there somewhere, and wouldn't she be proud if he found her on his own? Images appeared in the mist, visible for an instant and vanishing again. He focused on one of these, a turreted castle, and stepped forward. Indigo mist filled the world. Tapio clawed his way through, fixed on the castle. At last he pushed through and drifted to the floor of a stone balcony. He wasn't alone. An old man sat on a cushioned throne, idly petting a griffin-like creature that crouched loyally beside him. His bushy eyebrows went up. "Smallest knit I've seen yet," he said. Tapio tried to imagine himself taller. It didn't work. The griffin jumped at him.
I'm confused. I don't know where, I'm confused who's who, where we're going, where the action's going. So.
All right. Okay, so now I lost my place. The griffin jumped at him. Its pointed beak dug into his shoulder, and though he felt nothing, he screamed at the fear of it. "Wake up," he thought. "Wake up now."
Starting your book with a dream, it's done. It's done over and over and over again. I didn't know we were in a dream. I mean, I know he talked about the Dream Lady, but that could have been, he'd awoken from a dream and done these things. Although
They could have been
doing some marvelous things.
Right?
Could have been. Could have been your Dream Lady. But I was hoping for more of a fantasy, and it could be with these griffins and things, but in a dream, I mean, he could wake up in a subway terminal for all
That's true.
So
He might be in a subway terminal. We don't know.
I don't know the genre. I thought it was fantasy, and now I'm feeling tricked on the first page. So that's something to be aware of, is starting it with a dream, because you're making promises to the readers, and if you don't come through with those promises, they're going to stop reading.
Okay. All right. Okay, wake up now, but nothing happened. You're some hero picking on a child, the Dream Lady. So that's where it ends. So.
Yeah, I like him picking on a child, that's all.
I'd say, again, we don't know what genre this is, and if this were fantasy, I'd be more inclined to have not buzzed it. But the fact that I thought I was reading a fantasy, and then as it peeled back, I now know it's a dream.
And we don't have, the genre isn't listed on this. And I thought he had some dream walking ability, maybe because I just read a book with that. So
Like kind of an Inception type of feel. That's
so
what I liked it.
it.
I was intrigued by that because when the first line I thought was pretty strong. Tapio leapt from a mountain searching for the Dream Lady. It gave us the goal right away. And so I felt like
I thought the writing was good.
it was good.
It was good,
Right,
yes.
but I also felt somebody was confused over here.
Yeah,
And I felt there was
like-
some confusion here too, where the author needs to take a little bit more time and put us in his mind a little bit more firmly so that we know what's going on. Like, what does he want when he finds the dream?
Right, that's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, just glancing at this very briefly, what we're not getting is a lot of internal thought, which would help reduce the amount of confusion, would help give us a goal, and would help establish the setting even better, right? So, the Dream Lady and everything else, if we have an internal thought about who that is and why they're finding them, then that removes that confusion.
Well, I'm okay with having intrigue. I'm not okay with being confused. And I guess what confused me was the idly petting a griffin-like creature, and then the griffin jumped at him. So is it griffin-like or is it griffin? So I mean, it was like,
Yeah.
okay, here's an old man petting a griffin. Griffin-like or griffin, it just started to, I couldn't anchor myself with it,
What's going
so
on?
that was my problem with
Yeah,
it.
and when he said smallest knit I've seen yet, I suddenly wondered, is he a human or not? Like, is he another creature? Because, like, a knit's an insect, right?
Well, we really don't know
Nap.
who he's talking about. The guy with the bushy eyebrows is the one that says that.
And
Right.
But we don't know if he's talking about the griffin or if he's talking about Tapio.
I thought he was talking about Tapio.
Well,
but-
he is, because he tried to imagine himself taller.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
But I just think when you start with a dream, dreams are confusing, and they often are. You're not establishing any rules that the reader can hold on to.
It's
Right.
true. Anything can
Okay,
happen.
but I'm
Anything can happen.
But I'm going to disagree with you.
I know.
So if this is, there's a surprise, woohoo, here, and I
There's a
disagree.
reason why we keep these two separated.
Oh, come here, man.
No, thank you. If we are dealing with a Dream Warrior sequence, and this is fantasy, that's actually part of setting up the setting, establishing the setting so that we understand where we are. We need to get to that point as quickly as possible. So I would say that that's the exception to the whole dream thing. And I'm one who definitely, I would buzz in if the alarm clock rang and they woke up, and I mean, boom, that would be it. I would not read any further, and I know a lot of agents and editors are in the same.
So from the title, you're thinking that this happened, that most of the book is in a dream.
Yes,
It seems like the Dream Rovers.
you know, like
sounds-
Dreamscape.
Yeah, and I guess, it's just, again, it's difficult to establish, you can establish settings, but it's different, that setting's gonna change, and it's different to establish rules.
We don't know whether this is taking place in our world or another world, right? So I just feel like if.
I haven't seen a griffin in a long time.
Right, well, but since there isn't a dream, like,
What's
in the
Griffin-like?
dreamscape, they could be there even though they're not in our world. But, like, one thing that I would do is, okay, so he sees the old man, I want a reaction from him. What is his reaction? Like, oh, this wasn't who I was expecting, or like, oh, this is a scary thing.
Right,
or-
because if he is a dream warrior, he seems just as confused as we are as to what's happening. Like, he wasn't expecting to see this man, what's he doing there?
Right.
So it doesn't seem that he's in control, but floating through.
Yeah, that he said he tried to imagine himself taller and it didn't work.
Right, so
So he has some kind of powers maybe that he can control the dream, but it's not working.
Maybe.
And what it says also.
That's a lot to
it's-
ask out of a first
First
page,
page.
too.
Its pointed beak dug into his shoulder, and though he felt nothing, he screamed at the fear of it. And again, it's confusing.
So-
So we gotta, if you're gonna, it's difficult, and I don't mind intrigue, and so I'm a little intrigued by that. So the writer's starting to establish the rules of this world, but it just needs some more.
I think internal thought about what his goal is, what he's doing, would help a lot. And that shouldn't be an info dump. There's kind of sometimes I think first chapters are really hard
Oh, here so hard.
because you have to establish the rules of the world without it sounding like an info dump.
Right, and you're gonna, as a reader, I don't mind feeling a little off balanced, a little bit, but it's a fine line, off balance and confused. And like I said, I'm starting to get confused with that.
It does feel to me like they're trying to establish the rules of the magic.
They are,
A little bit
and
with
which
the-
is good.
With the
That's
Dream
very
Rovers,
strong.
but I get the impression that it's not working. Like, he's supposed to be able to imagine himself taller, and he's not taller. And when he's afraid of the whatever pokes him on the shoulder, then he's supposed to think, wake up, and he'll wake up, but it doesn't happen.
And
So that's kind
no one's pointed out one very obvious thing too, is at the beginning, he's searching for the dream lady, which is good. We got a goal, we know where we're going, etc. And so there's some tension there. And at the
It
end, we
delivers.
already find the dream lady, which is probably too soon.
Okay, let's go to voting then.
Okay, well, I think this needs to be rewritten. I was going to say right. I think it still needs some work. I think it has a lot of potential, but I still think it needs to be rewritten.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a set, because I think the story is set, and then with a little bit of tweaking, the suggestion, a little more in their head, I think it'll be ready to go.
Right, and I'm in between set and right. I like the
No, I
situation.
only gave you 3 choices.
I know, 3.5. Okay, so, because I like the beginning, but I do think it needs some work. I think that we need some more internal thought and setting up what his goal is and why he's doing this.
So is that a right plus or a set minus?
No, stop, you're too confusing.
Okay, just right. Let's just go with right.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go with set on this one. I think it does need some things added to it, but I think it's more of an editing, like expanding the first page a little bit.
And even though I buzzed it, I'm gonna give it a set, because I want to read more. I think there are some really interesting things there. I do think that while you are at risk of confusing the reader, if you're gonna write all about dreams and then there are no rules, I guess you'll be fine, but so I say set.
Okay, well, so that's it. So did we get it right? Do you disagree with us, or do you
I think I got it
we're right? Right, and Brock thinks he's got it right. Do you think Brock got it right? I don't think he did. So if you agree with me that Brock didn't get it right, leave a comment. Or you can go to our website, readysetwritepodcast.com, and
And then if you want to send us an email,
That's right.
send us a comment, readysetwritepodcast@gmail.com,
gmail.com.
especially if you think you have a page that we are ready for.
that's right. We would love to have a submission from you, and so we can evaluate it. All right, until next time, get ready.
Get set.
And right?